the students of Aharon, right? You should bring people close to Torah. And here, you see, what does Hillel do at the Seder? Hillel says, oh, you have to, the only way to fulfill the mitzvah of matzah, to do it, like it says in the Torah, you have to eat the matzah with the maror, together with the Korban Pesach, when you have a Korban Pesach, and mix it all together in korach in a sandwich, bringing it all together. So you see here that each one of the Rabbanim, when they're featured in the Pesach Haggadah, they bring ideas that come from their own sort of direction of how to understand things. Hillel, everyone has to come together, be one people. So he says Korach, also with the matzah, you bring all the elements together. Rav Yehuda, everything abbreviated, bam, 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 tatzach b'chav, right? Adash b'chav. So that's one idea of why he said it that way, to show that the same way that there are different types of students to hear things at the Seder, there's also different teaching methods that we use at the Seder. And that's why you notice at the Seder we mix all kinds of things. We have, for example, some action things that we do, right? We cover the matzah, we put the Seder plate to the side, we dip things into other things, right? We do these action things. Then also we have stories. We tell stories, the Rabbanim in Bnei Brak. Then we also have drashot from Psukim, that we have that long section over there. Right? And then, so we have all these different kinds of elements. Then we also throw in Hallel. The people connect sometimes to prayer. So that shows you that the same way we have different kinds of students, we also have different kinds of teaching tools and different styles of teaching. And we'll find the appropriate one. We want to try everything, and we find the appropriate one for the kids sitting at the Seder. But there's a second idea of Rav Yehuda, and that is that Rav Yehuda has an idea in Medrash Tanchuma, which he says something else. Again, we said, Rav Yehuda, what is the big deal of saying that the Mateh of Moshe says, Tatzach Adash B'chav? So there's another idea. Rav Yehuda says in the Medrash Tanchuma that there was a special mateh. This mateh that Moshe used, right, the staff that Moshe used, he says it weighed, Medrash Tanchuma says it was weighed 40 se'ah. It was really, really a heavy kind of a thing. And it had etched in it these letters. It had a dalid, then a tzadi, then a chaf, and it said on it, Tatzach Adash B'chav. It said on it those letters. And that's the staff that Moshe used to bring the makot. Now, where did the staff come from? Well, they had these things. Who etched these letters? So, there's a very, very unusual thing. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer says that this mateh was created, well, that we have in Pirkei Avot, that the mateh was created ben hashmashot, and it was given to Adam HaRishon. And Adam HaRishon, he passed it on to Shem, to Noach, who gave it then to Shem, and it was passed on and on and on. Everyone had this staff. And all the time it was just passed on from one person to another. It was known to be a special staff, but no one really knew what to do with it. Ultimately, the Medrash says, Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer says, that it ultimately got to Yosef, and from Yosef it ultimately got all the way to Reuel. Reuel, Kohen Midian, who we know also by his other name of Yitro. What did Yitro do? He says he had the staff, he didn't know what to do with it, he didn't really know who it's for. He stuck it in the ground. It says Vayita'eu betoch ginato. He planted it in his garden. So his garden, he has all kinds of stuff in his garden. Bam, there's this huge heavy staff in there. And he says, it says there that all Giborei Kenan, all the strong people, the tough customers of that area where Yitro lived, they would come letalsho, to try to pull it out. It was sort of like the sword and the stone with Excalibur, you know, King Arthur. They all tried to pull out this mateh, but nobody could do it. And Yitro said, whoever does this will marry my daughter Tzipora. Okay? So the Medrash continues, and it says that Moshe Rabbeinu came, he walked over, bam, picked it up. Yitro says, you are special. I don't know exactly what this mateh does. I'm not sure, but it's here. No one could do it. You can do it. There's a special mateh. You deserve my daughter. Something special is going to happen with you, Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay? Now, so then what happened with this mateh? So what are these letters? I'll tell you. Well, it is the makot. The idea is like this, that when Moshe came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he says, listen, Hashem, you can't send me. I am no good. You can't send me to Paro. I don't know how to speak. I don't know anything, right? And then Hashem says to him, Maze biyadcha, what is this in your hand? And it says, the staff. So, what it was is, according to this midrash, Mazeh biyadcha means, look on the staff, look over here. It has all the letters in order. It's instructions exactly what to do. Moshe, you don't have to worry. The first thing you'll do is Daled. You'll do the Dam. And then the second thing, Tzadi, it's Tzfardeya. And then the Chaf, you do Kinim. And it's an instruction. He says, Mazeh biyadcha, what is this in your hand? The staff. In the Torah it says, throw it down. It turns into a snake and all of this. However, according to this midrash, it's that it was like the instruction manual for Moshe Rabbeinu, what it is that he is supposed to be doing henceforth. And therefore, and that's what Rav Yehuda says. Rav Yehuda wants to tell us, hey, these makot, that you have to remember their code, the datzach, adash, bachav, and that reminds us of the other midrash that Rav Yehuda said, that this is a code, tells you that this was on the staff for generations until it got to Moshe. So what does that teach us? It teaches us two things. Number one, it teaches us that all along the Geulah was prepared from the creation of the world. The Geulah was ready. The creation of the staff already, Hashem had ready the Geulah for the Jewish people in the future. So that means always that the Jewish people, whenever we're in trouble, we should know that the redemption to be saved from this Geulah is always already ready for us. But also it tells us a very exciting thing, I think, about Moshe Rabbeinu, which is that when Moshe Rabbeinu says, I don't know what to do, Hashem says, Mazeh biyadcha. You don't realize it, Moshe, but you already have the solution, and it's in your hands. You just don't know what it is. But I'm telling you that that is the solution. It tells us also, I think it's a very exciting idea that Rav Yehuda wants to teach us, that however much we think that, we have these difficulties and struggles as the Jewish people and also as individuals, that the idea is that the solutions we already have. We already have within us. We're already holding the solutions in our hands. We just don't know exactly how to use those solutions. So Hashem says to them, you don't realize, Moshe, whatever you don't know, whatever you're confused about, it's already written over here on the Mateh. You just don't realize that that is the solution for your problem. But the idea is that with Am Yisrael and Bnei Yisrael and all of us as individuals, the problems we face are problems. But the solutions are all within us already, just waiting for us to discover them and find them. Alright, and with that, I will wish you all a happy and kosher Pesach, and a very nice time at the Seder, and chametz free, and that is my story. I will see you later. Chag Sameach. Bye-bye.